Welcome to New Stripe City, a YouTube channel for diehard Bengals fans. I'm your host, Ace Boogie, and welcome to Q&Ace. This is going to be the daily or the weekly segment where we allow you guys to come on and ask questions. I like for you guys to come on in video form, so I'm going to go ahead and post a link there. If you're new to the channel, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. What we do here is we give you all kinds of Bengals analysis. We do film breakdowns. We do Q&A. We do lots of cool things. We had several prominent Bengals figures on the channel. So we appreciate that. And then also you want to hit that subscribe button because we're doing giveaways. So we have all kind of stuff. We are a Fanatics affiliate. So you can find links in the description for those. I do have a promo for that. But like I said, we're giving away a free jersey of your choice once we hit 15,000 subs. We're almost to 10,000. I even might do a giveaway for 10,000 subs. So what you can do is make sure that you subscribe and then also share this video or any of our videos or our channels on social media. We truly appreciate that. And so before we get into it, I want to go ahead and put this link up. So if you see this link down here, that's the link that you can use to pop in and ask me any kind of questions that you want to. So a lot of people are talking about my outfit today. Am I going hunting? No, I'm not. Yes, I did hear about Tim Tebow as a tight end, Andrew, and Robert Stevens as who would you like us to open up the season against? So there's two ways that you can ask questions. You can either pop in, which is the preferred method, or you can also do super chats. So super chats guarantee that I will answer the question if you do prefer to do it that way. But I truly like having people pop into the chat because it's a way for me to connect with you guys and to give you a chance to participate. And then we can learn more about you as well. So I truly appreciate that. Let's see. Mark says, thanks, Ace, for keeping us informed. Who they appreciate that. Just heard we faced the Vikings week 1. Is that a rumor? I don't know. So we'll wait. We're trying to get some people to pop in. Hopefully we can get that going. I'm just going to go ahead and pin the comment in this video. Also, we have the scheduled live stream going on tomorrow. So I am going to do a live stream tomorrow starting at 7 o'clock. Hopefully by 8, they're going to release the schedule. But as you guys know, they always have leaks and stuff like that. So we'll be on the lookout for that. But I'm just going to hop in this video and pin. We got some people jumping in. Please feel free to jump in. We truly appreciate it. And you can ask your questions either in video or via super chat. So I'm just going to go ahead and pin this comment with the link so that way you guys will be able to see it. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring in my first guest. We got my man Z. Z, what's going on, bro?
Hello. How are you doing, man?
Pretty good. And yourself?
Have you gotten any more news on the draft picks and any developments, or just?
Not really, not much, honestly. Like it's been kind of quiet since the draft happened. I know Willie was joking with me and was saying the draft is over. Don't ask me any more draft questions. So not much more stuff that I've really heard about. I'm just kind of digging into the guys, just seeing any kind of highlights, or especially with the UDFAs and stuff like that. So I'm anxious to see minicamp, which is going to start this week. So I'm interested to see how those guys perform, but not much. We may have some potential surprise guests on the podcast, but we're going to wait until we lock those in. So that's something that you guys could look forward to down the road.
Are there any major players currently in rehab, or obviously Joe Burrow being one of them? But
right. As of now, I think major players that are rehabbing, like you said, obviously Joe Burrow. You also have CJ Uzoma, who I believe is ahead of schedule. You also have Trey Hopkins, who I believe is on point. And then, of course, Jonah also had an injury last year. I'm assuming that he's cleared to play now. So we'll have to see, especially once they get into OTAs training camp, how they start those guys off, if they're going to be on the PUP list or whatever they'll do from there. But I always say on Twitter, hashtag I'm not a doctor. So I'm not exactly sure. The one thing that I have tried to ask about on Twitter with Pro Football Doc was about Carmen's back surgery. I personally didn't think it was something major, but I just wanted to, get his expert opinion on it to see, what he kind of thought about the injury itself.
How is Auden Tate doing, considering that Jamar Chase is now in the lineup for the wide receiver slot? Obviously, AJ Green has left, but
Yeah, I think Auden Tate's just working his butt off. I mean, I've just like everybody else, I'm just watching from his Instagram, and stuff like that. He's working out, he's doing his thing, and obviously they took Jamar Chase, but they didn't take anyone after that. So I think that was kind of a vote of confidence for Auden Tate in another way where, yeah, you might not be in the starting three, but you're the first alternate. So with him being that fourth receiver, I think that Auden Tate will get plenty of reps next year. Now they do have Mike Thomas as well. But I think that was more about that they believe in those guys and they just needed to take Chase, just to add to that room. And I think Chase is more of a replacement for AJ Green and not exactly Auden Tate.
also finally, I guess we don't really talk about the punters. Well, a lot, I guess. How is Kevin Huber doing? I think I believe he's still on the Bengals he's the oldest member on the Bengals team, I believe, for the longest time
Yeah,
serving.
yeah. I think you're right about that. I think he was the first guy that they, and I might be wrong about this, but I think he was the first guy, one of the first guys that they announced back. But like you said, he is getting up there in age. They did bring in another punter, a younger punter. So his job could potentially be on the line. We'll have to see what they think if this young punter comes in and does a great job. It might be a bad sign for Kevin Huber, but I think competition is always healthy. I don't think that there should ever be guaranteed spots, and even if it comes down to a punter, I don't think that spot should be guaranteed. And with Huber, I can't think of, and I can't remember in the past if they've had competition with punters coming in, or not. But like you said, he's kind of getting long in the tooth, and if they find a younger guy that's cheaper that they can put in, and he's good enough to oust him from the roster, that might not be a major surprise. But I think with Huber, since he's a Cincinnati guy, I think with it, if I'm not mistaken, being a 1 year deal, maybe they're just trying to get a guy that they can hold on the practice squad and potentially replace Huber with this guy next year, and kind of at least get to see a close up performance from this guy.
So, how does Huber compare to other punters, considering that we don't really do a lot of comparison between punters and punters? But
Honestly, I have no idea. I mean, the only thing you can really go off, I guess, is Madden, because I don't know what metrics they have for punters and punting. Me personally, I probably gauge it from whether they make the Pro Bowl or not. I think
I
at
see.
one point Huber made the Pro Bowl, but he hasn't really been there in a while lately. So and I don't know. Like I feel like those are positions where if you notice them, they're doing bad. If you don't notice them, they're probably doing good. I can't really think of a time where I've been like, oh, Hubert shanked it, or that was an awful punt or anything like that. So, I mean, to me, that's good enough, I guess.
I see. So, finally, I guess the kickers game is a little bit different. Obviously, I'm kind of like specializing on special teams at the moment. The
Mhm.
kicker, we got a new kicker. And do we have any veteran kickers that might be in competition?
Oh yeah, we do have Austin Seibert. He's not much of some competition there. I'm not the biggest fan of Austin Seibert personally, just because I have another YouTube channel that just got off with called AFC North Talk, where we talk about the AFC North. Just so happens Austin Seibert used to be the Browns kicker, and there's literally an episode and a couple episodes dedicated to just how bad Austin Seibert is. So that should tell you all you need to know about him. If you thought Fat Randy was bad, Austin Seibert probably makes Fat Randy look like I don't know, Mike Nugent.
Oof.
Um, so
Five
yeah,
misses in a
he's
row, five
he
extra point misses in a row, or
yeah,
something like
he's
that.
he's not good. Austin Seibert is not good. So when everyone was like, "Oh, why would the Bengals take a kicker in the fifth round?" I was sitting there celebrating that pick because I watched him and I saw what was going on the Browns, and then I saw that the Bengals claimed him, and I was just like, "Ugh, that's not good. Please do not start Austin Seibert."
Do we
And
not
they
have many good kickers in the league? I suppose because if the cutoff is suddenly becomes Randy Bullock, there's not many 30 plus kickers, good kickers in the league.
Well, I mean, you got Justin Tucker. You got some guys like Young Hoku, and if you play fantasy football, you kind of know some of the good kickers that are consistent. But it's a tough job just because there's so much pressure, and especially in the social media era, I think it's just a lot harder for kickers. And it's not just the older ones that aren't good. There's some of the younger ones that aren't good either. You kind of see these guys sometimes get overdrafted, and that kind of already puts more weight on their shoulders. But I think that the guy that we got in Evan McPherson, I think he should be a solid kicker. The only thing that I worry about is with him coming from Florida, which I live in, I just wonder, is he prepared to kick in cold weather? Is he prepared to kick in different conditions? Because Florida is obviously pretty warm year round. And I'm not
Yeah, good point.
sure if he's used to dealing with those winter elements. When it comes to that part of it. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, I suppose so. I know the last time we drafted a kicker, it was a pretty good time to draft one kicker, but we didn't pick him. We didn't went with Zane Gonzalez because he was kind of like raising question marks for us, and we kind of trusted that Jake Elliott was sort of like I guess, the underdog
Right,
mentality. But the true winner was the Chiefs, who drafted Harrison Bucker, and
right,
he turns out to be a star of a
right,
seventh round pick or something like that. So it
right.
was so looking at the kickers in this draft class, if we didn't pick the right kicker, who do you suspect might have that Harrison Bucker type of season?
In this draft, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I did not do a deep dive on the kickers. I just knew of Evan McPherson, and I think the other guy, who his name escapes me. I don't know if he was drafted or not. But generally with kickers, they're gonna go in. You're probably only gonna see two at the most get drafted. Like it's
Right.
normally the guy that ends up being good is probably a guy that was undrafted.
Yeah.
And that's how
Justin
it was
Tucker
with
was.
Justin Tucker. He wasn't even drafted. So, um,
I'm a
I
big
don't know
fan
who
of
that guy
kickers.
is, but it could be anybody. You never know.
I'm a big fan of kickers, so it's like I know quarterbacks are the amazing grace of the team, but kickers, I feel like a lot of points goes through them, and they make or break wins.
No,
Just
you're right about that. Like having a good kicker. I always, I hate our division rivals, but I was always jealous that Baltimore could just be like, oh yeah, we'll just throw Justin Tucker out there, 55 yarders, just nothing. As a Bengals fan, you've kind of had this anxiety whenever Fat Randy or whenever Mike Nugent or whenever any of these guys were out there, you just never felt super comfortable at certain points. And when
50
you have a
yards.
Vinatieri or someone that's automatic, it's just like you don't even have to stress about it. It's like that affects the game in so many ways because you don't leave drives without points. You're able to put points on the board. Sometimes those are the differences between wins and losses. And so I think that the kicking game is extremely important. I mean, just go back to the Los Angeles Chargers game and look at what happened there and
Yeah,
how many heartbreaking games we've had just from kickers.
yeah. I mean, that is a very good point because obviously, sorry, my bad. Um, so obviously, with the kicker game, I know the first time I was interested in the kicking aspect was actually back in what 2012 when we had Mike Nugent, but he was out, and we had this backup kicker named Josh Brown.
Josh Brown, he was
Right?
amazing. I remember Josh Brown.
Yeah. He was amazing. I remember being inspired by the kicker position because he made the only field goal that was in Heinz Field that
Yep.
was 50-yarder, and he nailed that one, and it was so amazing. It was one of the few times we beat the Steelers, and it
Yep.
was a game it was a game clincher, and it just like it's a star of the show
When
right
that
there,
when that happened, I was just like, keep him. I
and
don't I
it
don't need
helped
to
them in
see
the
anything
playoffs,
else. You hit a game winning field goal in Heinz Field against the Steelers. Keep
and
him.
it
But
gave us a playoff berth too,
yep.
because it was a deciding victory for us.
Wasn't it did it also keep them eliminate them from the playoffs?
I think it did
Yeah.
too. I think we
Yep.
were.
Yeah. You cut that guy. So I don't know what the thinking was when that happened, but I was definitely on the Josh Brown train. I was like, let's get rid of. Sorry, Nuge, you're out. Brown in, but I don't
Well,
make
yeah.
decisions
I
for the
mean,
coaching staff.
I will not lie. I was with the Josh Brown train too, but actually, I thought at the time because I didn't know football back then.
Hmm.
I didn't know as much football. I just thought that Josh Brown was the starter kicker
Hmm.
and Mike Nugent was the backup. And when he left, I didn't quite understand that it was Mike Nugent the whole time. But even then, I remember in some games like 2013, 14, maybe 2015, I don't remember, but there was a series of games where Mike Nugent, I know he nailed like a 50 plus yarder in in the Lions Stadium,
Hmm.
and that was kind of an amazing show too.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that Evan McPherson can do some things and definitely take this team to the next level. But Z, I appreciate you for calling in. Got some other people I want to get to. Was there anything you want to say before you get out?
Well, I hope that the kicker will bring us some good times with his kicking skills.
All right,
Evan
appreciate it,
McPherson
Z.
or whoever it could be.
Yes, sir. Who day, brother?
Who day?
All right, we're gonna go to my man Nandan. What's up, Nandan?
What's up, Ace? How you doing, man? I
Chilling,
guess we're
bro.
dedicating an episode to Legatron, Evan Legatron McPherson. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
and honestly, it's been a while since we had a kicker, man. So I mean, we should dedicate a full episode to the guy. You know, he's got a fan base already. And I
No,
was
I'm
watching,
with you. I mean,
yeah, man,
I go ahead.
I was watching your uh, Bengals game simulations, and I was seeing him kick those steady field goals. I was like, yeah. And I was liking how we beat teams like the Browns and the Chiefs. It's because of that line. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
remember when
sir.
we had it last year with those simulations? I felt like those simulations were playing out our actual season.
Right.
So, and it did pretty
We
much.
were losing a
We
lot,
were
weren't
losing
we?
a lot, and it was accurate. And now the simulations are showing us winning against teams like the Chiefs and the
Right.
Browns. I mean,
Right.
hey, probably showing us what'll happen. You know what I'm saying, man?
Yes,
Oh, that
indeed.
felt
Yes,
good.
sir.
But man, I got a couple questions for you, Ace. You know, I always bring the heat with the
Yes, sir.
questions. So I wanted to know, man. I wanted to know who do you like? We had a pretty good draft class, but
Right.
I like to argue that our undrafted free agent class was also, pretty fire. We got some ballers, man. And I was wondering, how many of them do you expect to make the team? Like Antonio Phillips and the Puka Williams and Pro Wells, like
It's
Darius
it's
Hodge.
it's tough to say because there's so much. I feel good because we're back to the point where there's so much competition on the roster, and I felt like probably about 2 seasons before Marvin Lewis was gone, that was the last time we felt like that. Like I felt so confident on those days that you could put down money on a preseason game because the Bengals were so stacked. You knew that we were gonna pretty much win, and these guys were gonna do good at the end of the game. Now it's starting to kind of tighten up to where there's so much talent. It's hard for me to see and to really guess which guys are gonna really make the roster. And I start to shift towards the running back position, but then I kind of regret it because I think about the back end of that roster. So you've got Joe Mixon, you've got Travion Williams, you got Samaje Perine, you got Jaquez Patrick. Now you got his is it
Puka Williams and
Puka
Chris Evans.
Williams. Then you got Chris Evans. Like
Captain America.
it's tough for me to say because I think a lot of people are sleeping on how good Jaquez Patrick is and Chris Evans. And I'll like that's gonna be a tough battle, bro. Like that's gonna be a I mean, It's gonna be a crazy battle there for them to battle that one out. So as much as I want to say Puka Williams, I'm still gonna say Puka, but it I don't know, bro.
I could see us honestly. I could see us cutting Travion Williams and Jaquez Patrick. I could honestly see it because Jaquez Patrick's great, but if they're not going to use him, I mean, he's in
See
the practice
the
squad.
thing with Jaquez is he's a bigger back, so he's kind of like Joe Mixon. And so I'm looking at Travion, and Travion's not a small guy. He's still sturdy and
Yeah,
stuff
he's
like
stocky.
that. But if you get rid of him, and like Samaje Piron's like the same kind of guy, he's like a small, stocky kind of guy. So I'm just wondering, like, you got these big guys like Patrick and Mixon. Who else do you have that really fits that bill? It's not Puka. And so that's the thing. Like, yeah, they could potentially cut Jaquez, but if you lose Joe Mixon, like if he goes down with an injury, who's your big back that you're going to bring in to kind of get those yards and can really take that beating? And you got to remember too, when they had the practices that they did have last year with him, he had some pretty good runs. So that there's a lot of talent in that room, and it's hard for me to say if Puka's going to breed out a guy like Chris Evans or some of those other guys that they have, because they're probably only going to keep 4 running backs. So a lot of those guys probably don't make it, whether it's Jaquez, whether it's Puka, So it's hard for me to say who's going to make the team. And then you look at the wide receiver room, and it's still tough over there as well.
Yeah, we still got Scotty Washington. See, Scotty
Right.
Washington's a beast. He didn't even.
And if they do something like it seems like they still want, like they had some interest in Dede Westbrook. So
I don't think we're going to get Dede Westbrook. Like, to be
I
honest,
don't think they're going to get him just because if the Chiefs are, I mean, if Andy Reid called me and was like, look, we got a second receiver spot open. You're going to get more snaps here. You're going to be able to play with Pat Mahomes. I'm probably not going to a team like the Bengals where I'm probably going to be the 5th option, right?
Right.
Like, I might be the 6th option. I might not have a huge role. And so the fact that you could go to a team that just went to the Super Bowl, play with Pat Mahomes, and have a bigger role, and the players are kind of recruiting you, it's just hard for me to think that the Bengals are going to win that tug of war over a team like the Chiefs.
That's
but
true.
If he were to come here, I would love it because I was a huge Dede Westbrook fan back in 2017. I actually wanted to take offensive lineman in the first round in 2017 and try to get a Dede Westbrook in like the 3rd or 4th round because he was still that burner that we so often needed. But long story short, I don't know if anybody from the practice squad is making this team, man. Especially like I don't know what the new rule. I know that they got rid of 1 preseason game, and those guys need those preseason games in order to latch on. But I think that now we're finally at a point where this roster has so much talent. Those guys might not make the regular roster, but they could. I could easily see them making the practice squad. And maybe if there's an injury during the season, maybe you call up a Puka Williams, maybe you call up a Wells as well. So I think that would be the situation where that happens. I think, honestly, some of the guys that we drafted in the later rounds might not be locks to make this team potentially. So we'll have to see.
I hope they make the team because, I mean, Chris Evans and Wyatt Hubert are, they're no slouches.
Right. But when you say Wyatt Hubert, you got to look at how many – that defensive line cut down is going to be tough, bro. You got to think about, like, usually they keep 10 guys. When you go and start counting the numbers of how many guys, it's like, all right, I've got all of the guys from last year because it made me realize this because I said no one picked 97. Are they bringing Geno back? And Zim was telling me, look how many defensive linemen that they have. It's going to be a tough. It's hard to say that right now Wyatt Hubert is a lock to make the team. It's hard to say that a lot of people are locks to make the team just because of, I don't even know if Rennell Wren makes the team.
No, I don't. I feel like the cut candidates are probably going to be Rennell Wren, Josh Tupou, that Freedom
probably gets cut.
Yeah,
Amani Bledsoe probably gets cut. Yeah. Xavier Williams, I don't even know if he's still on the team.
Yeah, he's gone. And Christian Covington just signed with the Chargers, so I think there's a chance we keep. I feel like we keep everyone we drafted. because
Right.
Zach Taylor has a habit of keeping everyone he drafts. You
Right.
know, like the only time
Not all the time. That first year, some of
the
those guys
first
got
year, yeah,
cut.
that was an exception, but
Right.
the last year he kept everyone, and this year I feel like he's going to keep everyone too. And
Yeah.
the real competition is on the D line. I feel like the O line is more like it's more set because it's almost like a lock that Jackson Carman is going to be a guard, starting at either left or right guard. You're going to have Quentin Spain in one of the guard spots. Jonah Williams is left tackle. The center is going to probably be Billy Price just to start off because
Right.
Trey Hopkins is still rehabbing his leg, and right tackle is going to be Riley Reef, but that's going to change eventually. My prediction is I feel like at some point during the season, we're going to see every single one of our rookie linemen start, knowing our luck. Knowing our luck, there's going to be injuries. It's like inevitable. It's going to happen, but it's going to give us chances to see how talented our O linemen are that we drafted. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's a chance.
And I see somebody saying that I'm sleeping on Puka. It's a numbers game. You're not keeping 5 running backs. You got Joe Mixon, you got Samaje Perine. Those 2 are locks. After that, you got Trevion Williams. I feel like Chris Evans is a lock too, just because he's drafted.
He's
so
like
then you got
Lonnie
one
Bernard.
spot potentially left there, and you're going to try to decide between Trevion, Jacquez Patrick, and Puka Williams. That's going to be a tough battle there, I think, honestly.
Yeah, the preseason, man. Luckily, we have a preseason this year. Thank God. We're going to actually see.
And see, the reason that I'm looking at Puka like that, because Chris Evans and Puka are like the same kind of guy. So it just depends on what kind of guy they're looking for. It's probably going to be a special teams guy and stuff like that. But it could be that Chris Evans makes it as that slot receiver that people have been talking about as well. So
and didn't we draft a guy? Didn't we sign a guy that like ran a 4.28? Like, what's his name? I forgot his name.
Yeah, it was a wide receiver, I think, from Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah. And he's a burner. So the way I see it is, like, last year we had like 7 receivers on the roster, right? On the actual team, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's going to be Chase, Higgins, Boyd, Tate, Thomas, Scotty Washington. And
you think they're going to keep 6? You think they'll keep 6 with Scotty Washington?
Yeah, they had it last year.
I think they're going to keep 5. I think they'll probably keep 5.
Didn't they have 6 last year though? So I felt
6 last year. Yeah, they had more talented receivers though. They had a lot of talented receivers last year.
Yeah, but I really think they'll keep 6 again this year, just for Joe to throw around to, because I feel like Jamar Chase is going to get the bulk of the targets if they use him right. I swear, I hope we utilize Chase the right way. We have a bad habit of misutilizing our receivers and then having them leave and go somewhere else. And, like John Ross. John Ross could have been used properly. If this was the Chiefs, he would have been a Pro Bowler.
Right.
But we just misused him. I really hope they use Chase right, because they used Higgins right. Used Higgins right. Higgins was doing great, He was playing better than AJ. So that's that. We just got to utilize our players, man. Like, and I really hope not just on offense, but on defense too. We better see the rookie rotation of Osai and Sample, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's good. That's where it gets interesting, man. I'm really wanting to see what happens with that D-line rotation, because from what I hear about Sample, it seems like he's very versatile. So he can also play D tackle on inside and outside. So, the more versatility you have, if someone else isn't as versatile, it could cause for him to make it over someone else. So
yeah,
I'm very interested in seeing what they have to do at that point. Was there anything that you wanted to ask me, Nandon, before we move on to my guy, Steven?
Before I wanted to go, I want to say a comment about Sample. Remember when we drafted Drew Sample in the second round of Zach Taylor's first draft?
Yes.
Oh, man, that was brutal. But this time we got it right with the right sample pick.
Yes.
I know, pun intended. Right sample pick.
Sample.
Man, thanks for having me on again, Ace. And I'm telling you, that playoff win's coming sooner than you think.
Yes, sir, Nandon. Who day, brother?
Who day, man.
All right, we're gonna bring in my man Steven. Steven, what's up, bro?
What's up, man?
Chilling. How you doing?
Good. I had lifting today, so.
You
Yeah.
lifting some weights?
Yeah, we had lifting for football.
Okay, that's what's
Yeah.
up. What position you play?
I play nose guard, but I'll probably after the season I'll probably lose some weight and switch to DB.
You gonna go from nose guard to DB?
Yeah, it's because I'm small. That's the thing. I'm really
There's
small.
nothing wrong with nose guard. I played, believe it or not, I played nose guard, and I'm small. I played corner, but it was some. My coach was he actually won the Bengals High School Coach of the Year thing. But back in this time, he was a JV coach, and he was trying to do some futuristic stuff. So he tried to take me as a quick small person and was just like beat the center on every play. And I remember having to be like the nose guard, and I was like, that's crazy that I was. I guess he was trying to make me Geno Atkins before Geno Atkins was a thing, but I wasn't even Geno Atkins. I was pretty much like a corner lining up at defensive tackle, just being faster than the guy and trying to run around them. But nah, nothing's wrong with nose guard, bro. What you got for me?
I don't know. I mean, everything about the offense, all that's fine and dandy, on and Tate, all of them, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
The O-line, I think everything has settled down on the offensive side, but I'm still very unsure about the defense, like extremely unsure. Not just about like the coaching and the scheme, but I'm really unsure about like if a few injuries impact us, like our personnel that we have there right now,
Right.
I feel like we have a lot of number 2 pass rushers, but we don't have a number 1 pass rushers. Like, I like the Hendrickson signing. It's good culture fit. He's a good player, but I just don't know if he's gonna be a Carl Lawson. If Carl Lawson was able to do what his pass rush moves, basically, because Leon Rumo didn't let him do that. So,
right.
I feel like Carl Lawson, if he would have been able to do that, would have been like really, really good, like that number 1, elite defensive lineman in the NFL. But we never got to that point. Injuries, coaching. So, but I don't know if Hendrickson will make it that point. Like, I feel like I like the Osai pick because I feel like if he develops, he will be like that type of player, that number 1, elite edge rusher. He could be that type of player. He has all the athletic ability. So, but I'm not really like, I like the Hendrickson signing. It's just that, like, I can get on board with it. I just don't know if you can't tell me that he's going to have the same production because he was a number 2 with the Saints, and we don't have a number 1. That's the thing. They had Cam Jordan lining up opposite of him. We don't have Cam.
No, that's a great number. No, you make a great point there. I think the Bengals are going to have to rely on the committee approach. I think they're going to have to rely on Hendrickson doing this thing, Hubbard doing this thing, Khalid Kareem doing this thing, Osai. They're going to even have to depend on Mike Hilton. I think he's going to be blitzing from that corner position off the edge. But to me, man, at the end of the day, if you can tell me that the Bengals can get 25 to 30 sacks, like if you say that unit is going to get you 30 sacks.
Did we even get a sack last year? I feel like
we got like 17. We got like 17 last year. So if they were able to squeeze like 30, I'm not trying to be, the Steelers or any of the top, like the Washington football team. And, I don't even know if the Washington football team ended up getting 50 sacks, but they seem like a team that should get 50 sacks. I don't think we need to be that, but we at least need to get like 25 to 30 sacks. Like they got to get after the quarterback. They got to do something.
An average defense, I'm fine with that.
If you can give me an average pass rush, I would take it because that'll just mean that we're getting some sacks and we're getting the ball back in the Burrow's hands. And I understand exactly where you're coming from because no, we don't have that guy. It's so hard to find that guy. Generally, you usually have to pick that guy in like the top 5, but they just didn't have him this year. They had it last year, but we had to take Burrow because what would Andy Dalton and Chase Young have gotten us? It wouldn't have done anything for us in this division for the long term. And then if you missed out on Joe Burrow, you said what?
Just get Jalen Hurts. We would have won the Super Bowl.
Get Jalen Hurts like the Madden simulation.
Yeah.
Like the Madden simulation.
Yeah.
But those guys come a dime a dozen, and that's why they get paid the way that they do. And in an alternate universe, we signed Shaq Barrett like they should have, 2 years ago, and we wouldn't have been having this problem. But, I think at the end of the day, maybe Osai is that guy. Maybe it's potentially Khalid Kareem can come in and give us 6 to 7 sacks or something like that. So we'll just have to see. It's we come from Carlos Dunlap, and I think we've been kind of spoiled. And Carlos, to me, he hasn't been elite. He's been on the edge of being elite, but he's never had that 16, 17 sack season that
He
we've
almost
seen
got
from
there in
some of these pass
2015.
rushers.
He almost got there in 2015. He was so
Yeah,
close.
he almost got there. So you're right. We have to wait and see what this defense is. Hopefully, they have people that fit this scheme. There were a lot of people that I felt like didn't fit the scheme. So hopefully, now that he's handpicking his guys with Lou, maybe we'll see these guys, fit the scheme and be somewhat productive.
Yeah, and I'm also hoping to see some development from the linebackers and to get them to get more playing time because I was really excited for those guys last year and I was disappointed when we were running out Josh Bynes who can barely fucking tackle anymore. He's
Hey,
so
Steven,
slow.
watch your mouth, sir. You're not old enough to be saying stuff like that.
He's so slow. I'm sorry, but he's so slow. It gets me upset. We have to roll. I'm sorry.
Hey, all I hope is that we don't see Bonds and stripes. So I'm with you on that. We did a
I'm
lot of
sorry.
cut the tape on.
That was a bleep out moment right there.
My cousin coach is not a Josh Bonds fan, and at first I wasn't seeing it. I felt bad because I was on the Bonds train early, like on AFC North Talk and everything.
Like I was happy for him to come in, develop all the linebackers.
That's why you can't just go off of PFF grades. Because I was like, oh, he rated this on PFF, and then when like he came and was playing, and I watched that Browns game, I was just like, whoa.
He was dookie, bro. I was just like, just roll out Logan Wilson, bro. Honestly, I'd rather start a running back over him at linebacker, bro. At least they can run. Like he can't do it.
They might be bringing Bonds back though. You never know. I don't know.
I'd rather just have him just sit on the bench and mentor. I don't even want him to start. Just sit on the bench and mentor.
Yeah, I was getting upset because when you actually go back and watch the film, Bonds was getting a ton of snaps. Like Pratt was good, but they weren't really putting in Logan Wilson and Akeem Davis-Gaither like that. They kept giving the snaps to Bonds, and I was just like, get him out of there. Like, why is this guy in here?
No one wants to see Bynes. I don't turn on the TV to see Bynes.
I think what it was those guys were rookies. There was no real off season, with COVID and everything. They're trying to get used to the speed of the game. So I think it was just they felt like it would be too much for them, and they tried to put a veteran, two veterans in there, I guess, even though Pratt is still young, but he had the most experience. So I think they tried to put Pratt in there and Bonds, but it was ugly, bro. Honestly, it was pretty ugly.
To be honest, just on Vontaze over Bynes. Like, at least he can run and tackle or something. Like,
yeah, Vontaze being back. But remember, Vontaze got suspended. He did something and got suspended last year.
I just want
the year before.
Retire a Bengal. That's all I want, and I'll be happy.
Vontaze definitely should retire a Bengal. But Steven, I got to get to some of these other people in the chat. They've been waiting patiently. What did you want to say before we get out of here?
Houday, Josh Bynes is dookie, and he's trash.
All right, Steven with the drop the mic moment there. Aquila, what's going on, bro?
How you doing?
Chilling, bro. How you doing?
I just got back from the gym, so I was a bit late.
Oh, you was pumping some iron?
Yeah.
What do you bench?
I think I'm up to like 240 right now.
Okay. How many reps?
2.
Okay. All right.
And that's actually what I was gonna ask you. Well, what was your best ever bench press?
My best ever bench press. It might have been around 240. I remember everybody wanted to get to 225 so bad when I was in high school. It might have been around 240. To be honest with you, I kind of was more so focused on. I remember everyone wanted to bench 225 and get as many reps as they could, and I think that was just because that's what they have you do at the combine. But I was more so obsessed with my 40 time because with me being a smaller guy, I knew that the only way that I could make the NFL or even have a chance of doing that is I had to run like a 4.3. I had to be like Darren Sproles or something out there. And when I was initially, my first year, I think my freshman year, in between my freshman and sophomore year, this was when Ohio State had won a championship, and I went to the Ohio State football camp up in Columbus, and Jim Tressel was there. Mike Doss had just got drafted. He was out there catching punts. And I ran I think I ran a 4.6. And I was upset with myself because I knew that I had to get to like a 4.3 or 4.4. When I realized, because I was just a huge nerd when it came to rivals and knowing what it took to actually make it. So when I knew that I didn't run a 4.4, I was just like, oh, 4.6 is still slow. But there's some people that are heavier that don't even run 4.6s and stuff like that. But for me, that's what I was more so focused on. But 225 is what we always aim for. Was how many reps at 225 could we do?
Yeah. So I have a question. This is more of a scenario for you.
Okay.
So let's say Duke Tobin calls you right now and says you can sign 2 players off of free agency right now.
Oh,
who are those 2 players?
Easy. Trey Turner off the rip. Well, I said easy. I was gonna immediately go to Dede Westbrook, but now you got me thinking about who's out there. So Trey Turner is definitely one that I'm bringing in like immediately, especially 2 to 3 million for Trey Turner.
God.
That is a no-brainer. Like that's just like this deal should have happened yesterday. Oh, I got you. It's gonna sound like it's coming out of left field because of what just happened in the draft. But I think I still take this chance on him. Man, this is tough because I'm looking at this list. There's still some good dudes out there. But I think that I'm going to go with Sheldon Richardson.
Really?
Give me Sheldon Richardson because I'm replacing Geno Atkins. It depends on how much money he wants, though. If he wants a gang of money, probably not. Charles Leno, I'm looking at like they got some dudes out there, but Charles Leno probably in a crazy world isn't starting for us because they want Jonah at left tackle and they want Reef at right. So yeah, I'm probably going Sheldon Richardson just because I know if I get him, I have my 3 technique that can get pressure onto the quarterback. And right now, outside of Larry Ogunjobi, I don't know what I really have there for that position to get pressure on the quarterback. Plus he knows the Browns. So I need all of that insider information on the Browns too. I need that insider information. So for me, it would be those 2.
What about Tyler Eifert? We still have a hole at tight end, if you ask me.
Tyler Eifert is my guy, but Tyler Eifert, I think we think of Tyler Eifert as 2015 Tyler Eifert. And for the Jags to cut him and have to sign Tim Tebow as their tight end, that tells me all I need to know. I wouldn't be opposed to it, but at the end of the day, he is 30 years old. If we put Tyler Eifert on this team, is he starting over? So we got Thad Moss, we got CJ Uzama, and we have Drew Sample. How many snaps are we giving to Tyler Eifert? And then do we immediately go back to worrying whether or not he can stay healthy for the season or not? And so I would love to bring him back. I just don't see where he fits into our situation for the long term. For the short term, yeah, I'd sign Tyler Eifert for a 1-year deal. But how many snaps is he going to actually take from Drew Sample? And I can't believe I'm saying Drew Sample. But how many snaps is he going to take from Drew Sample and CJ Uzoma and Thaddeus Moss now? It's hard for me to say that I would want to bring him on this roster and cut, let's say, a Thad Moss who's much younger than him, and then Drew Sample goes out the first, or not Drew Sample, Tyler Eifert goes out the first week of training camp and like rolls his ankle. So that's the only thing about Tyler Eifert. And the crazy thing is, how is he not signed by anybody right now? I'm not sure. And I didn't forget that he said once he left and went to the Jaguars and they won that first game, already won half of the games that I won the last year with the Bengals. And that cursed them because they essentially ended up losing like almost every game after that.
Yeah, I forgot he said that. No, I don't want him back. I don't want him back anymore. That's disrespectful.
Yeah, it was. I was kind of surprised he said that. I was like, all right, tell us how you really feel, Ife.
So everyone, they're always asking, like, what do you think of Chase? Like, what are your expectations for him and, like, the D lineman? But, like, what about Thaddeus Moss? Like, he was a part of that 2019 dream team of LSU, and he's back with Burrow, but we don't really hear, like, any expectations about him.
Right. I think to be honest with you, I think that they're going to try to initially start him off in the Ethan Carter role. Like they let Ethan Carter walk, and that role is kind of like the H-back. It's kind of a fullback / tight end kind of role. But I think that he's going to surprise some people and probably be a guy that could sneak in, I'm going to say, for like 2 to 3 touchdowns a season if they keep him. Because like he can come out in the flat and they can throw passes to him. They can do some unique stuff with him. So I think that he could be a guy that would surprise, but I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to, score 7 to 10 touchdowns or anything like that. But I think that Thad Moss could potentially come out and shock some people and catch like maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns, especially if there's like an injury that happens in the tight end room, which is generally going to happen. Like I could see him stepping in and just making some key catches in certain games just because he's always been very clutch when it comes to his hands. Joe obviously has a good relationship with him. He's trusted him. We saw that at LSU. So I think that he could be a guy like if he catches 2 to 3 touchdowns, I think that you're satisfied with it and you want to build on top of that going into the next season when potentially CJ Uzoma rides off into the sunset. Then next year you bring him in and maybe he's your tight end number 2 if you consider Drew Sample your tight end number 1. And then that's when he takes the leap once he gets used to the speed and everything. Because you got to remember too, he didn't really play last year. He got hurt. So I think then you look to the year after that to see what his apex is. But he's never going to be, let's not get it twisted. For me, I never think that he's going to be, top 5, top 10, top 15, even tight end in the league level. I'm not expecting that from him, but I think that he could eventually develop into a very solid tight end number 2, like as your second tight end that can have some ability to do some things in the red zone.
What do you think his ceiling is?
Tight end number 2. Like I think that's his. I think like whenever you think of like a solid backup tight end that still poses a threat, that's what I see Thaddeus Moss as.
Nah, I'm hoping for like I don't think he's gonna be like a Tyler Eifert. I don't think he's gonna be like Travis Kelce, but I'm hoping he's at least like for his ceiling. Like if he meets his absolute potential, I'm hoping for like top 10 tight end in the league because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how fast you are. It doesn't matter how big you are. If you know how to use your body, if you're smarter than everyone else, if you can get open, you can get open. If you're open, you're open. Doesn't matter how fast you are.
Right. No, that's real. Like it's to me, it's not even about speed when it comes to that. I'm just looking at his body type and his body type at the tight end position. He's generally kind of small for a tight end, so I think that's why they're switching. They're gonna probably use him at H back, and he still has that potential. I mean, he has Randy Moss running through his veins, so I mean, there's always the potential that he could be a solid pro. But I don't think he'll be top 10 in the league, but I think that he'll be a solid veteran tight end that's going to make some production and will stay in the league for a while.
I mean, that's all we can really hope from an undrafted person.
Yeah. I mean, you never know with tight ends though. Like you made a good point. Like if I'm not mistaken, I think like Gates he either was undrafted or he was drafted very late. And there was this trend where they were taking basketball players. They did this with Jimmy Graham too. Guys that didn't really play the position, but were like ex-basketball players that had the size of like a 6'5" guy that could jump, and they just taught them the position. So you just never know with the tight end position. It's like either a guy is going to immediately be a star, and sometimes, and I'm not saying this is with Pitts because I love Pitts, but sometimes those guys that are in the first round, like David Njoku, that look like they're going to just be monsters, don't really end up like living up to the expectations. And then the guy that was taken in the third round or the undrafted guy are the guys that end up being good. So you just never know with tight end.
Yeah, for sure. But thank you for your time. I'm going to have to get out of here, eat some food.
Appreciate it, Quilla. I appreciate everything that you do with the Discord, bro.
Yeah, I got you. Don't worry about it. See ya.
Yes, sir. All right, take care. Who that? So before I bring in my man, the Iceman, I'm just going to run through some super chats real quick. Shout out to my man Brandon Monroe for the $5 super chat. Appreciate that. Nandon, appreciate you for the $2.79 super chat. Sorry. He says Drew and Cam equals the sample pack. I like that. And shout out to my man Hank Herschel holding it down. He's a member, $20. I appreciate that, bro. He says T. Higgins made a guarantee that if he scores 10 touchdowns this season, then he would switch to number 5 for 2022. I'm predicting 34 passing touchdowns for Joe Burrow and T will be wearing number 5 in 2022. 6'4" in the red zone all day long. And I think that's something that can happen. Like 10 touchdowns that's pretty achievable. My man the Iceman, what's up, bro?
What's going on, Ace? How are you doing tonight?
Chilling, brother. Glad that you stopped by.
Yeah, man. I figured I'd jump on for a little while, but you're a very popular man. You got a lot of people on your show. I like it. I like it a lot.
Nah, I appreciate it. So do you, man. You got a lot of people on your show as well. I'm seeing someone every other day on there.
Well, I keep hollering at people, and people keep saying yes. I haven't got a Bengal yet, like you and Zim. I'm working on that still. Well, I take it back. I got Dave Lapham. I haven't got a current Bengal.
Yeah, you have got a Bengal. I haven't gotten Dave Lapham. See, you got Dave Lapham. I never even had Dave Lapham before.
Hey, I got one up on you, but you guys you've had lots of more guests than I have, so it's okay. But I want to get into your couple conversations you guys had while I was watching. You know, Thaddeus Moss and Osai and everything. Mm-hmm. Carlos Dunlap. Let's put it this way. He was what, a 3rd round pick? If I'm not
second round pick.
Second round pick. All right, second round pick. Now everybody always wants to compare our next defensive pass rusher to him. Osai, I think, was great as a second round pick. I really do think he's got a shot at being that first. I'm not gonna say it rookie year, you know, but eventually for sure. And with the defensive line that the Bengals have picked up in the draft and everything, you just mentioned the 4 guys. We could have a 4-man rotation. I think, and Hilton come off the edge. I think we got potential of just blitzing from everywhere this year. Right. That's what I think. At least I'm hoping that's what Armadillo, as you know, I still call him Armadillo unless he gets the defense fixed. And Lou, if you're watching, I promise you I'll change it. I'll call your right name on my show. You just got to get the defense. But if the defense comes and blitz like I think they're going to, because they're going to get pressure on the quarterback this year, and you got Big Daddy Bayou, the kid out of LSU.
Tyler Shelvin.
You put him next to DJ Reader and Ogunjobi.
Woo! Dude, I can't wait.
Dude, if you got just those 2 of those guys, 2 to 3 guys stand there, they're going, go ahead. Come on, run on us.
Come on, Ravens. Come on, Browns. Right. Bring it.
I'm saying this year, I think we have potential to have, I won't say almost an above average defense. The potential is there. I'll put it to you that way. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Potential is there because you said it earlier. We actually have depth. I've said it on my show. This is the most depth that Zach Taylor has had in the 3 years that he's been the Bengals head coach.
Right.
So this is, for me, it's put up or shut up time for Zach and Armadillo. There's no more excuses. You got the weapons on offense. You got the depth on defense. And Captain America, Chris Evans, I'm excited to see him, dude. Because the thing people, I don't know if everybody knows this or not, but he didn't play a ton at Michigan.
Right.
So there's a lot of tread on the tires left. And you can see him split out at wide receiver a lot this year too, I think. I think that could be a good potential for him. And maybe what's your thoughts on him being a punt returner for us?
I think I heard someone say that he's only returned a punt once.
Right.
So, you know, I think it's possible, but I think with them at least testing the waters with D.D. Westbrook. We don't know when they checked on D.D. Westbrook, right?
Right, yeah.
But that makes me feel like, you know, with him being a former punt returner, that maybe they may look elsewhere. But if he can do it, I mean, why not? I mean, right. Give him any kind of role that you can.
Oh, dude, and if the Bengals get D.D. Westbrook, now like you said, if it comes down between the Bengals and the Chiefs, he's probably going to pick the Chiefs. But, dude, if D.D. is your 4th or 5th wide receiver, boy, we're going to be killing people.
Yes.
Right? I mean, there's not going to be anybody right now. Everybody in the AFC North is scared of the Bengals because they're not going to be able to cover us. You got Chase, you got Higgins, you got Boyd. Oh my, we're going to be killing people. And just think.
Well, these guys over at AFC North Talk, they're sleeping on Jackson Carman. So it was crazy because last year when I jumped on there with them, they were all scared of Joe Burrow. Every single last one of them. They were worried. And then when our line went out and didn't protect them and they saw that they could just blitz us, they felt like, oh, you know, it doesn't matter who you guys get. we're still going to come. And
Mhm.
so we went and got Chase, and they're like, oh, well, it doesn't matter if you got Chase because you still don't have linemen. And I was like, no. Look at the rest of the draft.
Mhm.
We loaded up in the trenches. We got
Mhm.
Jackson Carman, we got Deontay Smith, we went
Yep.
and got Riley Reef.
Yep.
Like we have loaded up on that offensive line. So right now it hasn't hit them yet that the Bengals have improved their line drastically from last season, but they're gonna see it. And like you said, when you have Jamar Chase, you got T. Higgins, you got Tyler Boyd, you got Auden Tate. If they add Dede Westbrook to that, oh my goodness.
Dude.
That's just Joe Mixon, and that's the thing that nobody talks about. Joe Mixon, everybody's talking about Jackson Carman just from the pass blocking standpoint.
Right.
He's a hell of a run blocker, though.
Uh-huh.
And if you put Joe Mixon behind Jackson Carman,
Mhm.
that is going to be a problem.
Oh, dude,
Run game, passing game, like Jackson Carman is, and I really, like, honestly, I've told you guys this from day one. I'm not an offensive line expert. I'm not. There was a lot of people that just started becoming offensive line experts, and I think just this season,
everybody was.
but I'm not an offensive line expert. I've
Right.
always asked, and he doesn't tell me everything because I asked him about Panay. I asked him about, all of these guys, and I lean on Willie Anderson because he's not only a guy that has played the position, he knows the techniques, he coaches people. And I was talking to him before the draft even happened, and he was like, Jackson Carman, he's going to be a good player. And so, I'm going to take him over the mock draft guy 10 times out of 10, anything he says. So, Willie is a guy where if he doesn't say anything about someone, because he doesn't want to make these guys feel bad, right? He doesn't want to talk down on them.
Right.
If he's not saying something about a guy, that means more than if he's praising a guy. Right. So if he were to not come out and say anything about Jackson Carman, then you need to be worried. But the fact that he gave him a glowing review, I'm trusting Willie over any of these other guys any day. And I just think that he's going to make the offensive line better for not only Joe Burrow but Joe Mixon too. And I think that's important that people are almost forgetting that as well, because there were times where Joe Mixon was getting hit in the backfield before he even got the ball.
Right. How much fun will it be to watch him make a cut beyond the line of scrimmage instead of the first cut in the backfield? That'd be awesome. Another thing, real quick on Jackson Carman, Paul Alexander, for Bengals offensive line coach, has come out and said that when they measured his arms at his pro day,
they had the wrong measurement.
His arms are actually longer than what they measured at, and that's one of the things I think that bumped him down. So because some people on my show have been on like, oh.
You still there?
Come on. You there?
Okay. Yeah, I'm still here.
Sorry. But I had people on my show come on and say, oh, we could have got Jackson Carman in the third round. I said, dude, there's no way Jackson Carman was going to make it to the third round.
You couldn't have. Like, I can put that to rest now. And it's funny because you hear Lap saying it, and I think some people are just assuming, I heard Lap say it on a podcast, and that's why I'm saying it. No. Me and Zim have guys that work for certain teams. I don't want to say the team because they're almost like running kind of, and this is kind of a hint, they're almost kind of running a Belichick-like system there to the point where, I knew people over there and I tried to get them on for a podcast, and I'll give another hit for a game that we had against them last year, and they wouldn't even do that. That's how tight it was over there. They had Jackson Carman as a second-round pick. Like, they had him as a second-round pick, and they were like, no, if you guys wouldn't have taken him, he would have gone, or they were surprised that he even made it to that position because they had him as a second-round pick. I know Lap said that he talked to people that had him as a second round. Some people even had him as a late first-round pick as well. So, and we're all talking to different people, and I think there was a third person who said the same thing, and it was on top of, what Lap had heard. So, the team that I'm talking about, I'm pretty sure that team was not even related to the one that he was talking to or any of that. So, and our sources are from people that actually work for the team, and so that's why you can't reveal their names. But all I will say, the last clue I'll give is that it was an AFC team as well that has had some pretty good drafts lately. You still there? I can't hear you. I don't know if it's the audio on my end. Can you guys hear Iceman? Can't hear me? All right. Hold on one second. Hold on one second, Iceman. Okay, they said that they can't hear the Iceman. Can you guys hear me? Can't hear Iceman. All right. All right, Iceman, we're gonna try to get you back in. Yeah, okay. Got you. So we're gonna bring in my man Terrell. Well, Terrell, what's up, bro? What's up, bro? Terrell.
Oh, my bad, bro.
Nah. You good? What's up?
What's up, bro?
Yes, sir. People keep calling me Zim. I'm Ace. What's up? What's up, Terrell? What you got for me?
What's good, bro? Hey,
Chilling.
man. I just been enjoying the show, man. Just chilling, man. I'm over my mom. I'm just chilling back though, man. Just was chilling though. But what I about to say, man? I just want to piggyback on what Steven and the other dude was saying. Everybody been on our intrigued about our running back backfield, like who gonna be the next backup behind Joe Mixon, and and then it's so funny because it's like it'll be people that don't like the Bengals though. They talk about, oh yeah, Pookie Williams and Trevion and all that, and they
Right.
just but I think Chris Evans, man, I like his speed, I like his size. I think he eventually gonna beat out P Ryan,
Right.
and I think Pookie gonna make the team. I think he gonna make the team. I think Travion gonna be on somebody else's team, man.
Yeah. I
Travion,
can see it.
yeah, but
It's
he gonna
three, 4 years
be on
later.
somebody else's team though.
Right.
I want to see the Scotty Washington dude in the preseason.
Right.
That's what I want to see. Um, I do want to see Patrick though, but it and Jackson Carmen, I think he gonna be a Pro Bowl.
I can see it. Like that'll be like
I think they sleeping on him, man.
I
They
think they're
they
sleeping
mad
on him too.
they mad in Saudi we got Chase. Keep it real with you. They mad in Saudi because he got a
Right.
popularity. He like an Odell Beckham that he might mess around and have a Kardashian in Cincinnati.
Right.
I'm keeping it real with you, man.
Right.
But I just want to shout out my cousin Dre, man. He was in the chat. He gave me weak though, man. I know you got your cousin, Coach.
Yep.
I got Andre. He think he Paul Alexander or Marion Hobby.
Okay.
And,
Okay. We might have to
and
bring him on for
I'm
the cut the tape on.
yeah, I'm the black dude Tobin.
Okay, you the Black Duke Tobin. Okay, Terrell Tobin. I
You know
got
what I
you.
mean? But
Oh, this is what I want to share with you though. We was talking about Carmen real quick, and I haven't said this. I don't think I've been able to say this publicly yet. I had asked Paul Alexander because everybody kept concentrating on Tevin Jenkins, and I was like, all right, but can Tevin Jenkins play guard though? And nobody ever
right.
really answered that question. And so I asked Paul Alexander like a week ago. I said, can he play guard? And he said yes, but not nearly as well as Carmen. He's a bit high cut for a guard. So his whole body type just doesn't even make it. It doesn't make sense. It's almost like taking a sorry, Siri. It's almost like trying to make something fit that doesn't even work. So this
Right.
whole Tevin Jenkins thing, if he can't even play guard, if he's not even built to be a guard, that makes the Jackson Carmen pick make even more sense. Because go ahead.
Let me go on. I think he better than Slater.
You think
I
Carmen
think
is
he
better
better
than
than Slater on the low.
okay.
On the low. Cart. What I about to say? Dang man, it's just a lot going on, man. But I seen the T Higgins interview people been talking about.
Yeah.
I see he shouted out Tate, man. I believe Tate he this is time. This is time, man.
Yeah,
You know how
Taysom
P
is
Ram.
focused.
You know how P Ram had his time last year. Bro, P Ram was about to be on the was about to be in the streets.
Yeah,
Keep it real with you, because he got bounced
right.
around.
That's facts.
But
He was
I
in
think so.
Miami. He was in Washington. He was in Cincinnati. Came back to Cincinnati.
Man. But you know what I'm saying. But I just got so, like I said. But the line is fine. I think they gonna be strong. The I think I'm going out on a limb. Logan Thomas had the potential to be Devin White.
Okay. I hope you're right on that one.
I'm hold on, not A plus Devin White, but maybe like a poor man version.
So you think Logan Wilson is gonna be poor man's version of
He had
Devin
he
White?
had if he could put it all together and stay healthy
Right.
and put on some weight, he have at least a B plus
I can see
level
that.
of. That's all I'm trying to say. And one last thing I was gonna tell you, everybody like a draft. They like I said, man. People they want to. I'm all of a sudden I'm getting all kind of stuff popping up on phone about Shelby. Everybody wanted Shelby. They
Right.
saw that we got him. They saw that we got the Joe Side dude. They
Right.
really saw that we got Chase. Like I said, man.
Right.
They want to have Carter, man. I mean, if you you block for Trevor Lawrence, man.
His blind side.
And back to back championships. You got to do something. You had to do something good. You had to do something right.
Right. Facts.
But man, I ain't trying to wrap your time, man. Like I said, man, love you, Ace. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I was trying to get back with Anthony, man. I was watching the show yesterday, though. I like
Okay.
Iceman, man, because I love UC, bro. I believe red and black. And when it comes to football and basketball, that's my dude.
Yes, sir.
But I wanted to tell but I was gonna tell Anthony what I was gonna share with you. I want an outside the lines show down the road when it ain't nothing going on, talking about how small market teams and just they don't give us the proper just praise on our players and current players. Tyler Boyd and Mason should have been a 2-time Pro Bowlers right now.
Right. No, that's facts.
James Conner, man, ain't had no better year than Joe Mixon, man.
Right. That's real.
You know what I mean?
That's
I'm
real.
just
There's
leave with
definitely
that, man.
Nah, that's real. You hit on something special right there. That was the key for sure.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
All right, Sorrell, who that?
Who that?
All right, we're gonna bring in Terrell's cousin Dre, and then we're gonna get back to the Iceman. Dre, what's up?
Hey, what's up, bro? What's up with you, Ace?
Chilling, man. I heard that you the black Paul Alexander.
You
the offensive line guru.
I don't know about that. We go back and forth with this stuff all the time, man, Terrell.
Right.
Yeah. What I always want to ask you, what part of Cincinnati you from, bro?
Avondale,
Okay.
East Mitchell and Vine, 775 East Mitchell. My dad just sold the house last year, but I'm from Avondale.
Okay, nice. Yeah, that's what's up, man. But I know you were a Sewell guy. I was too initially, and then I quickly switched over to Pitts. And I think Chase is kind of in the middle for me, more of a little bit of a compromise. So I'm cool with Chase.
Right.
Offensive line going from left to right. I mean, Jonah Williams, he's been hurt most of his time here. And then when he played last year, he looked okay. He looked solid. He didn't look like a near top 10 pick to me.
Right.
I think a lot of the rookies, first round rookie tackles last year outplayed Jonah Williams.
Right. Dre, you still there? Uh-oh. Dre, you there?
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I was just saying, Jonah, in my opinion, he was okay. He was solid. Don't get me wrong. He was solid. But last year, I think he kind of got outplayed by a lot of the rookie offensive tackles last year. And Jonah was like a red shirt freshman last year. He wasn't a true freshman last year.
Right.
But he didn't look like a near top 10 pick to me. Put it that way. He looked like an average. He looked
I
pretty
can
average.
agree with that. Right.
And then that left guard, you got two journeymen that are 30, 31 on last year's of their deals.
That's why we need Trey Turner right there. That's exactly why we need Trey Turner right there. I'm with you on that too.
I don't know if he's much better than what we already have. Is my issue with Trey Turner. I don't know if he's much better than Spain.
So here's my thing on Spain. I don't mind Spain backing up, but if you asking me to pick between Trey Turner and Xavier Suafilo, there's no way that I'm not picking Trey Turner. I'm sorry, like,
Right.
dude, we've seen his ceiling of, Pro Bowls, and yeah, he had a bad season last year, but we don't know if that means that he just fell off the cliff. I mean, the dude is only 27 years old. Like, to pay him 2 to 3 million, which I think would probably be what you're paying Xavier Suafilo now.
Yeah.
To me, it's a no-brainer
That's a
to at least
no-brainer.
see what he can do. I mean, there's no way he could be Michael Jordan, could he?
When you consider his age, I get where you're coming from. That's a no-brainer.
Right.
And then you got Trey Hopkins, who I wouldn't be surprised if he started the year on PUP. I mean, he got hurt last game of the year. So, and then right guard, you got the rookie who we just took, Carmen. I like. I think I wasn't too happy with the pick initially, but it really grew on me once I started to look at the tape a little bit more. So I like that pick. And then Riley Reef, you got pretty much on a 1-year deal, an older guy. So with that being said, I mean, considering you were a Sewell guy, do you feel like they? And I like Deontay Smith, I do, but I think he's still a year or two away from being a starting player. With that being said, do you think they did enough to address the line this year in the draft?
I think they're almost there. They signed Trey Turner, and I'm gonna keep banging this drum. If they signed Trey Turner, I'm good. I'm even more confident than I am right now. I think they did a lot. Don't get me wrong. I think Trey Hill was another under the radar pick for them. He's a guy that can play center or guard, potentially guard. I think they accomplished competition at that offensive line room. They're talking about Xavier Suafilo. David Lapham said Xavier Suafilo could get cut. So whatever Dave Lapham says, you better take that to the bank. He said he could see Xavier Filo either starting or getting cut. And that just talks about how much depth they have improved to that position from what they had last year. Now, I personally have heard the plan for Jackson Carman is to start him out at right guard, but they want to potentially see if he could potentially play tackle. I know a lot of people are trying to say he can't play tackle. That's kind of wild because he is a tackle.
Right.
He played tackle all at Clemson. So we'll have to see with that. Deontay Smith, like you said, project player. They got to get his weight right and everything. It's potential that he can move there. The one thing that I heard at that left guard spot, Dave Lapham said it, Hakeem Adeniji might be a dark horse that could be at that left guard spot. And Hakeem Adeniji was actually pretty solid when he came in.
Yeah.
So I could see them putting Adeniji there. They just have a lot more competition at that position group now. And I think that they are in a better spot. But I would love it if they just said, Trey Turner, come on down to Cincinnati, $2 million on a 1-year prove it deal. You don't get any of your contract like that. You're gonna get a $1 million signing bonus. You're gonna have to earn this other $2 million. Like whatever incentives you gotta put in there. We need Trey Turner from 2019 or something like that for you to make this full $3 million or something like that. That's what they should do. Probably only guarantee like $1 million of it. Make them earn the other $2 million. Put them in a prove it deal situation. I mean, I feel like for him to come out and say he only wants $2 to $3 million, he knows the situation that he's in. So if they were able to do that, I would just feel even more comfortable. I'm still comfortable now because I believe in Jackson Carman. I believe in Hakeem Adeniji taking the next step. I believe in the depth that they've built up in the offensive line, getting the Trey Hill, getting Deontay. I don't think Deontay is going to play right away, but I believe in the plan that they've done as far as executing and signing these offensive linemen that they have, even as a Panay guy.
this was just a year with the draft. As far as from a value standpoint, I was hoping they would have walked away with 2 starters. I mean, I would have went second and third round, and then came back, with the pass rushers and the 2 picks after that. That's what I would have did personally, but
Right.
I like the Carmen pick. I actually remember Carmen, his family went to our church when I was a kid.
Okay.
I remember when he was born.
That's what's up.
It shocked me. It shocked me that his name was Jackson. I was like maybe 8 or 9. I kept asking my parents, like, his name is really Jackson? It's kind of a funny story, but
Hey, you might be telling that story for a long time now. You never know.
One last thing, what do you think about? I've been on the soapbox the past couple of years about our speed, our overall speed on offense.
Mm-hmm.
Like you look at teams like Washington, Kansas City, they got 2 or 3 4-3 guys.
Right.
Like I wish we would have did more to address speed in this draft. I mean, Chase is not really known as a speed guy. He's a separation guy, but not really a speed guy.
Right.
Even with that, I still think our overall offensive speed is kind of slow. What do you think about that? Do you think they did enough with Chase? Or
for me, it's always hard because everybody wants to have the Kansas City Chiefs where you got all of these dudes that run fast. And I always point back to the Oakland Raiders. They had one of the fastest teams ever, and they were garbage. Like, speed doesn't matter if these guys aren't skilled. And Chase has both. He has speed and skill. And you can be the fastest guy in the room. But if you can't catch those balls, it doesn't matter how fast you are. If you can't produce and do things and run routes the right way, it doesn't matter how fast you are. So to me, I think that they have enough speed. I hate the whole speed thing because it's like we see how good Tyler Boyd is, and he's not the fastest guy. Like, so for me, you got Tyler Boyd, you added Jamar Chase there, you're faster. Mixon isn't a slow guy. He ran a 4.4. Like, a lot of the guys that they have actually do have some speed, but I think when we see these Tyreek Hills and stuff out there, we all become enamored with it. But there's only one Tyreek Hill. Like, Hollywood Brown isn't even that good. He's fast as hell, but he only had like 600 receiving yards last year. So it just depends. It just depends what you get. Like, I could see them going and getting a D.D. Westbrook because they don't have anything like that. But if you just want all fast players, you're playing Al Davis football. And we saw what that was when they were there because you had a whole bunch of fast guys, but none of them had talent. And so give me a middle of the pack in terms of speed, but with more skill, and I'll take that over any of that all day because I don't think anybody's looking at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and saying, how fast were these guys? Like, Mike Evans isn't fast. Like, Chris Godwin isn't really like a burner like that. Antonio Brown is more quick than fast. Leonard Fournette really isn't that fast. So, like, Tom Brady himself isn't fast. So, like, I don't know. I hate when people just think like speed is the only thing that people can do. And like,
but you have to have some though. We have none.
Oh yeah,
this got to be like a happy medium.
I mean, Chase, for him to run a 4.38, he's not slow.
That was fake. That was a pro day 4.38. I keep telling everybody that was fake. That was the slowest 4.38 I've ever seen. If that was at the combine, that would have been a 4.5, bro. Oh my mama, like that was not.
I'm with you.
But I rock with Chase though. I rock with Chase. Don't get me wrong. But
I think they got speed though, especially at the linebacker position, even at the corner position. I feel like they have speed. To me, they're not a slow team. Like, I don't even think Jesse Bates is slow either. So like,
I mean the offense.
The offense. I mean, Joe Mixon isn't slow. That's why it's slow.
Do we even have any 4.4 guys? Let alone
Joe Mixon definitely ran a 4.4. Joe Mixon ran a 4.4. I mean, Chase ran a 4.3. There's a difference between speed and field speed. Like, some dudes are just faster on the field than they are in terms of, because like, you got to remember, a lot of people was trying to say Chase Claypool was slow last year, and he was looking fast for the Steelers last year. So it just all depends. But I think they have enough speed for sure and athleticism on the field. Now, when you talk about the tight end position, I don't think that they have speed there. when you talk about the offensive line, that's what I think Jackson Carman actually brings to them is some more athleticism at the guard position. But I mean, Joe Burrow is pretty fast for his size too. So I think that they have speed, but they don't have like everybody thinks everybody's gonna have the Chiefs speed, and that's not something that everyone has. Like usually, there's just one guy that's fast on like in the receiver room. There's usually one, maybe two guys, and when you look at the rest of the teams, it's not like that. Juju isn't fast. They only have Deontay Johnson. The other dude, Claypool, he's not a super burner, but he's still, got decent speed. But they're not. They don't have a room full of Tyreek Hills, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Hey, I appreciate you bringing me on, man.
Nah, I appreciate you, Dre. I like
talking about him, Paul Alexander. Nah, man, I'm Duke Tobin.
You Duke Tobin. Okay.
I'm Duke Tobin.
Okay, I'm gonna have to let him know that. Appreciate you, Dre.
All right, brother. Be safe, man.
Yes, sir. Likewise. All right, now we got the Iceman back. What's up, Iceman?
What's up? Can you hear me this time?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
All right. So you can see here you've had Duke Tobin and you had Paul Alexander on your show tonight. Man, you were rolling in it tonight, dude. Like, dang, blowing me out the water. No, but I'm with you, dude, on getting Trey. Hashtag Trey Day, dude. If we get him and you put him at guard, dude, our offensive line, there will be
good.
Yeah, we're good. And the thing is that I agree with what you said. It's kind of what we were saying before, is depth. And this is, like I said, this is the deepest team that Zach Taylor has had, and almost across the board. I mean, there's really, right. I honestly, except for tight end, maybe that's the only one I can think of that we're kind of maybe a little weak on. But if you watch my show, and I know you do, dude, I'm the fattiest guy. I think he's going to be good. Now, I know he ain't the fastest and all that stuff, but if they can scheme it up, and he was doing what he did against LSU, or at LSU, was in the SEC against NFL caliber players. So that's got to translate somewhat to the NFL. You hook him and Joe Burrow back up again. I'm probably a little more excited about that than I probably should be, but I wanted them to get him last year.
Yeah, I think we all wanted him last year, especially in the draft for sure. There were a lot of people that wanted him last year.
Yeah, that's my thing. There's so many people that want him last year. Now everybody's like, he's washed up. He's just like, really?
He never got to play though.
That's exactly what I'm saying. He never got to play. He was hurt. So I mean, and it's a no-brainer. This is easy. Go sign him, and if it doesn't work, you can cut him. It's not a big deal. Right. But I mean, I love it that they got him, and this is the same thing with Trey. They should go get him. Give him the $2 million or whatever it is. And go for it,
I mean, if he's not asking for anything, just go get that guy, man.
Right. Hopefully that's what'll happen. I mean, we'll see it happens, and I can't wait for football season. I got my season tickets. I got it upgraded.
Yes,
today.
Sir.
It's on my.
So are you you voting in the Ring of Fame?
What's that, man?
Are you voting in the Ring of Fame?
Yeah, I'm going to. But it goes. I've only had my season tickets for like 2 years, so it goes from who's been there the longest. So I'll get it by the end of the month probably. But I
think you get two votes then, right?
I think so. I think it goes by the years, yeah. And I'll vote Ken Riley and Ken Anderson. And just for all your listeners out there, if you are here in Cincinnati, Bengal Jim has been putting together the Jungle to the Hall. It's a rally for Ken Anderson and Ken Riley Jr. Or not Ken Riley, for Ken Anderson and Ken Riley, to get our voices heard of how they should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame and how it's an absolute travesty that they're not. Right. Ken Riley is still fifth all-time interceptions to this day. Everybody above him's in the Hall of Fame, and like 3 guys below him are in it. It's ridiculous that he's not. So I wanted to give a little shout out there. So if you guys can come, make sure you come. I've been blowing it up on my show.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be blowing it up on this show and other shows as well. Obviously, you guys saw the documentary. Ken Riley deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, kudos to you and Zim. You guys, that was awesome, dude. I mean, seriously, that was well done. And if you guys have not watched Ace's and Zim's documentary, go check it out. It's freaking great.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
All right, bro. That's about all I got.
All right. Appreciate it, Iceman. Who Dey?
Later. Who Dey?
All right, we got another super chat from my man Hank Herschel, who says that 13 needs to be retired. I agree. For sure, Ken Riley deserves that. And someone said we don't have a number one corner. I have concerns against number one receivers. That's from Ira. I agree. That's probably the biggest question mark there. So I'm going to take this last call, and then we're going to get out of here. Appreciate you guys. I'm going to bring in my man Rob Steve. Rob, what's up?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Pretty good in yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. I was just wondering because, like, I don't feel like the national media really covers it enough. I feel like the Bengals was in a lot of the games last year. Like, you can say, like, the Chargers, both the Browns games, the Eagles. That's just off the dome. I mean, the Dolphins, the football team before Burrow got hurt. I just feel like it was really close, and I feel like since we have a better roster, if we can have some better coaching and execution, I feel like, you know, our record would vastly improve. I was just wondering what you think about that.
No, you make a great point. A lot of people forgot about that. Like the Bengals were in a lot of those games. They easily could have won, like you said, 6 more games. And people that are, not fans of the team that don't follow us are probably going to say you guys are homers. But no, that's just the cold hard truth. Like go back and watch those games and see how close the Bengals were in those games. You talked about the 2 Browns games, the Eagles game, the Chargers game. I mean, that's just 4 right there. So add that 4 to their record, and you could easily see that this team was way better than they were. Not to mention, the games that they had to play without Joe Burrow. Now, they did win one against Pittsburgh, and I think they also won the one against the Texans. But just think about how many more games on top of those ones that they would have won potentially if they had Joe Burrow as well. So that's probably 6-7 more wins there potentially. Now, I'm not going to be that guy that says woulda, shoulda, coulda, but that's just facts. Like they weren't getting blown out by these different teams in different games, and those games weren't out of reach by any means at all.
I was at the second Browns game, the one in Cincinnati.
The Colts game was another one.
Yeah. I was at the Browns game in Cincinnati when Phillips had his fingertips on that ball that Donovan's Peoples-Jones catch, man. I couldn't tell you how salty I was walking back to my car, bro.
Man, I don't blame you, bro. I would have been. I'd rather it go out like that than when I went to the 49ers game. I went to the 49ers game, Zach Taylor's first year, and we got
that was tough.
Murdered. Murdered.
Another question I was thinking is, like, Alden Tate's this big body guy. What would you think about lining him up at, like, tight end, like, in the red zone, like, specifically in the red zone, just putting him in the middle?
Specifically in the red zone, I think that, using him as a red zone weapon in any form or fashion, whether it's tight end, whether it's split out, I think is a smart move because nobody, I feel like, is out jumping him. And he's 6'5". He's probably one of the tallest receivers in the league. Right. I think utilizing him in the red zone would be perfect, honestly.
All right, I got one more question for you. I appreciate you. You've been going on for a while. Someone was talking about corners in the comments, and William Jackson left. He made some comments when he went to the football team. I don't know if you ever got asked about that. I was just wondering what you was thinking about him sort of talking all that.
I thought
it was crazy.
I thought it was kind of crazy how he kind of threw a lot of the defensive linemen under the bus. Like, so did he feel like Geno and Dunlap weren't good? It was kind of wild to hear that.
He was talking about the fans and how we're hard, and it was like I felt like Cincinnati fans was riding for William Jackson. We was putting him up there with like the big name corners. Like, oh yeah, we got William Jackson.
I felt like nah, you're right. Like I always felt like we always had William Jackson the third's back. Someone did remind me though, like they said that game that he got beat by Odell Beckham. He said a lot of fans were torching him because of that, but I don't know. When he said the thing, they wonder why they're not winning. I don't know if that was a shot at the coaching staff or, what was going on there. I always heard that William Jackson III, they weren't big fans of his ball skills. So that was what I heard. But yeah, it was disappointing to hear that because I was a huge William Jackson III fan. So
yeah,
disappointing. Definitely some sour grapes. I wish him the best, but if we so happen to play against them in the next couple of years and Jamar Chase catches a touchdown against them, I'm gonna say that you brought that on yourself.
I mean, like his rookie year, he missed his whole rookie year, and we were still riding with him. And it was just
Right.
he had that 1 year where he was clamping AB both the Steeler games, and we was like, oh, we got one. We got a shutdown corner. And then Zach Taylor comes in, defensive scheme changes, he don't look as hot. But I just thought it was crazy. As soon as he went to a team that like won like 3 more games than we did, and was talking like oh, wonder why they're not winning. Like what?
Wonder why you're not gonna be winning next year. So
I know. Yeah, he got Fitzpatrick as his quarterback. I mean, like he's cool and all, but
it's Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, like if you just compare like who's gonna like what team is moving in the better direction, I just don't think it's comparable.
Nah, that's facts. That's facts, bro.
I'm gonna let you get out of here, man. You've been going on for an hour and a half. Appreciate you, bro, for having me on.
Nah, I appreciate you, Rob. Who day, brother?
Who day, man.
All right, so that is gonna wrap it up for Q&A's. Appreciate you guys for coming through, and I'm gonna leave you guys with a who day all day, every day, and especially on Sunday.